Hey guys, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have my sister with me again.
Hi guys.
And all the comments, even though there was like a few on my other video, were that they wanted to hear more of our paranormal experiences. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do today. In this video, I'm gonna tell 3 more stories just like in my last video. So we'll go ahead and save hers for last because hers is like the creepiest one of all. So this first one it happened a while back. It happened in about like 7th grade. Stuff had been happening in my closet, which I know it's kind of weird, but like my friend got stuck in there, which is another story. Lights were flickering on and off again, which is another completely different story. And this just kind of happened after all that stuff had happened a while ago, but it was still around that same time. So I was on my computer or whatever, and I was watching YouTube videos, and it was like the battery was dying and I didn't want to get up and get my charger, so I was just watching all the videos and everything, and then my computer died. So instead of going to charge it, I just put it away and I put it in my laptop case and I put it in my closet. So the computer had died. Like there was no battery at all. Like it died on me, and that's why I put it away. So that was like during the day. Later that night I heard something, I heard like music and stuff, and I was like, where is that coming from? And I was watching TV on my TV, but like I had already turned obviously right. I had already turned it off or whatever, and like my phone wasn't playing music, but I could hear it. I was like, what is that music coming from? And I went, and it was coming from my closet, and I was like, is it the laptop? And I went, and honest to God, the same video that I had been watching, I had been watching like Pitch Perfect videos or something.
We were together.
Oh,
we were watching Pitch Perfect movie.
Okay, we were watching Pitch Perfect movie then. The Pitch Perfect movie, I have it on my laptop. And I heard like exactly where we cut off, like the scene that it cut off where it turned off. It had started again, and I heard it, but when I took my laptop out, I was like, it was dead. I took it out, I opened it, and it was off. Like, and I had showed you, as soon as I picked up my laptop, because I remember I recorded it, as soon as I picked up my laptop, it stopped.
And I remember at first I didn't like recognize it being the Pitch Perfect movie. We were just scared because we heard voices, and we heard it coming from the closet, and like she said, like stuff had happened before, so it was like really, really creepy, like just hearing the voices.
Yeah, and like I was like, okay, wait, like let me record this so that way people don't think I'm crazy. But yeah, so I took my phone and I was recording it, and I swear as soon as I picked up the case, it stopped, and I was like freaking out. I was like, the laptop had died. Like there was no battery. Like how can it turn on? And then whenever your laptop dies and you turn it back on, you charge it, it like reboots. So the fact that when it didn't have battery, 2, it started from where we had stopped watching it. Like it picked up as if nothing had happened, and then I grabbed it and it was off.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the heck? Like and y'all probably think we're crazy because we're like fine in the house or whatever, but like that was just so crazy. I was like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Like
I remember I was like, I'm not going into the closet because I told her like check because I hear something. I remember like the exact like feelings, and I was like so scared, and I didn't want to go into the closet. I was like, you go in.
My closet, guys, is like haunted. So yeah, that just happened. So the second story actually didn't happen in this house. The second story happened at my fiance's house. So just a quick background, my fiance's house is haunted. There is a presence there. There's this lady that appears every now and then. I've never seen her. My fiance has seen her. His mom has seen her. His grandma has seen her. There's a presence there. They always hear footsteps. They always hear like doors opening and closing. Lights will turn on when they have turned them off.
Didn't Jose say that Willa doesn't go upstairs?
Yeah, we have a dog that lives with my fiance, and she refuses to go upstairs. Like she will chase you wherever you go, but if once you head up those stairs, it's like there's a step go up and then one more to actually get up. So it's like 2 little sets of stairs, but that lead upstairs. She'll go up the first set of stairs, but upstairs to actually get there, she will not. She refuses until you have to carry her, and then a lot of the time she tries to run back downstairs. So there's something there. We don't know if it's good. We don't know if it's bad. And this is the only time in my life that I had ever felt physical, like touched by a presence or something. So this next story, I was at my fiance's house, like I said, and they had like this water cooler, like that they have a water cooler upstairs, just in case you want to get water upstairs, you don't want to walk all the way downstairs, privilege life, whatever. So they just have it up there, and I didn't want to walk downstairs to get a cup. So my fiance was like, I will get you one, but I don't know, I was like really thirsty. So instead of waiting for him to get the cup, he went downstairs to the kitchen to do something. So I just stick my head underneath of the little nozzle, and I just start drinking water from there, you know. I guess I just didn't want to wait that long for a cup or whatever. So I have my eyes closed, and I'm just like drinking water, you know. And I felt something like physically brush my shoulder, like touch my shoulder, like go like this to it. Like I felt it to like I stopped drinking the water. I looked. I don't know why. I was like, oh, it's just the cat. But they don't have a cat. Like never have they ever owned a cat. So I don't know why I was like, oh, it's just the animal. But they didn't have one. We didn't have our dog at the time. So I felt it. Like I felt it, and I asked him, I was like, did you touch me? Like, but he wasn't upstairs. I was like, you didn't come up and just touch me, right? Because I would have heard the footsteps. I would have, like, there was nothing there, and it was just us two.
And when you got up, you would have seen
Yeah, and I was like, what the heck? Like, who touched me? And he was like, it was the lady. And I was like, you're right. I was scared. I'm fine in my house regardless of the stuff that has happened, but like when you walk into his house, like there's creepy vibes. Like she's been there, we've stayed the night there before, and it's creepy. Like his house at night is scary. There are noises, footsteps, and it's just creepy. And there's also other stories about up there, like
I mean, I've never experienced anything, but it's just like the overall vibe.
Yeah, it's like a weird vibe. I will not go downstairs by myself.
Yeah, I don't
it's
like
dark.
it. Like if we go over, I mean, we haven't been over in a while, like. But like when we go over, like his room is upstairs, and I don't like to go downstairs to like get stuff because
I turn on all the lights, and I cannot. Like it's creepy. Yeah. It was just really creepy. Like I actually felt physical touch, and that's the only time that I've actually felt like anything touch me. And you know, like if y'all have ever experienced anything, you know when it's something like paranormal or creepy or weird. Like you know it's not just something normal. Like you get the feeling, you get the chills, and that's what happened on that time. I felt something touch my shoulder, and I flipped out. This third story is my sister's story. I'm gonna go ahead and let her tell it. I was not there for this. I just you know, she told me about it, what happened, but I kinda am involved with it in the after part of it, so I'll go ahead and let her say it.
Okay, so we were going to my grandma's house as we do every Sunday, and I was walking because what happened was we were all getting stuff down from the car. So it was my mom, my little brother, and my dad, and so they had all went because they had taken out the stuff from the car, and I was kind of struggling, so I kind of stayed behind. So at this point everybody was already inside of the house, so I was grabbing the stuff, whatever, and I was walking. And when you walk to the part where I was, when you walk to my grandma's house, there's a patio area.
Yeah, it's like a patio.
Yeah, it's a patio area, and there's like a table where everybody sits at, you know, when we go outside. So I'm walking, and there's like a pillar.
Yeah, it's obvious. Like you know how there's like 4 pillars supporting the whole patio part.
Yeah. So I'm walking, and before I pass like the first pillar, I see this man, and he's wearing I remember it very vividly, even though it didn't happen that long ago, but still, he's wearing a plaid shirt. It's like blue with white, I think. He had a white hat on, or just a hat, a sombrero, and I remember for sure he had a very dark mustache, like a black mustache, and he reminded me of my grandpa, or like someone, like he looked like family, and I didn't get any creepy vibe, like it wasn't like, who's this man, you know what I mean? He really did remind me of family. So, and plus everybody had walked by in front of me, so I was like, oh, if it was anything, like if he was like not supposed to be there, my family would have said something.
Yeah, and like people come over all the time. Like,
yeah, like
family, like that's my grandma's house. My grandma and my grandpa both live there, and they just go visit us all the time. Like there'll be random family there, so it's not a big deal when there is family.
Yeah, so for there to be like someone random, like it wasn't a big deal. But I wasn't familiar with this family member. With this family member, so I didn't like tell him hi or anything, or I didn't really acknowledge him too much. So I was walking, whatever, I see him, no big deal. And as I passed by the first pillar, I passed by, and this person's not there anymore. And I like stopped for a second, so he was sitting down, so I would have heard him, you know, pull out the chair. I would have seen him because I looked around immediately, because, you know, like he was real enough to where I didn't think anything, I didn't think it was a spirit. Like, that was the last thing on my mind. The thing that was confusing me was, how did he leave so quickly?
So fast.
Yeah, so I, like, looked around, and I was like, okay, I brushed it off. I didn't say anything, mainly because of the fact that, like, I always have stories, and, like, I feel like nobody ever believes me when I say my stories. Like, I don't think anybody ever believes me, especially my dad. And plus, like, my whole family was there, so I wasn't about to, like, explain to them what happened. So whatever, it happened. The day goes on, and I'm at home, and I'm telling my boyfriend what I saw. And he's like, tell your mom, like, you know, tell her what happened.
And I had overheard her, like, tell a piece of it, and I was like, what? And I made her, like, explain to me, like, everything.
He was like, just tell her. I was like, no, because, like, she's not going to believe me. And my dad was in the room. He's, like, the biggest skeptic. He doesn't believe any of our stories. He thinks that we're always crazy. So I was like, no, but eventually I ended up telling her the story. And the whole time she was just, like looking at me. So I was like, she doesn't believe me, whatever. So I went to tell my boyfriend bye. I come back, and they're talking, my sister and my mom. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And my mom just, like, ignores me, and she leaves, and she goes to her room. And I was like, what the heck? Like, she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm a crazy person.
And so then I tell my sister, I don't know if y'all have ever heard this. I don't know if it's, like, a Mexican thing or if it's, like, ever. We're Mexican, by the way. I know we don't look Mexican. So, yeah, even though we don't look like it, we're Mexican. So I don't know if this was, like, a Mexican thing, but I had heard this, that whenever... Okay, so real quick, like, our grandpa's old already. You know, he's kind of sick, like...
He's not, like, in the best, like, health state.
I have heard before that whenever you see someone, a family member that's passed away already, and you see them, it's a sign, you know, that they're here to help guide someone that's about to pass, or they're here to, like, you know, like, come for someone else. So my mom, I had told that to my mom. That's why we were talking about it, and that's why my mom left, you know, to her room. So I told my sister that because my mom was thinking that it was my grandpa's brother that had passed away.
And I remember, like, before, like I said, like, you're reminding me of, like, my grandpa, like, and a family member. Like, not, like, I thought this before I had heard anything, so it wasn't like I was influenced by this. Like, before I thought, like, it was a family member, and so, like, that kind of...
Yeah, and I had just told this to her when she was done with her story. So me and my mom were kind of, like, looking at each other while she was, like, telling her this. So yeah, I told my mom, I was like, I didn't want to say anything in front of her. I was, like, whispering to her, I think she's talking about Abuelito's brother, because I had never met my grandpa's brothers. I've, like, seen them when I was younger, but I never, like, really met them to where I knew what they looked like, and neither had she. We didn't really know
so that's
them.
the thing. It's not like if it was anything in my head and I could, like maybe, like, you could try to explain it and say, oh, well, since your grandpa's in a bad condition, you, like, thought about this. First of all, I had never heard this whole thing about, like, the family coming to guide them. And second of all, I don't even remember what my grandparents,
their family looked
like. Like, no, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I didn't know what they looked. I just knew that he had brothers that had been passed away. I didn't remember what they looked like either. So I told my mom that, and she had finished telling my mom the story. My mom left, and then my mom goes and calls my grandma, and she's like, do you have any pictures of her dad? It's my mom's dad, of our grandpa, with, you know, pictures of him with his brothers. And my grandma was like, why, what's going on? And my mom didn't want to scare her. So she's like, no, just send me some. And then she's like, okay. So she sends her a few of them, like, through text message. And she gets one that it's my grandpa, and he's like this, like, with two of his brothers, but he had more than that, but it was just those two. And my mom goes, is one of these the man you saw? And right away,
and I was like, I saw the man with the really dark black mustache wearing a plaid shirt, and that was the person that I recognized.
Yeah, and my mom was like, yeah, your grandpa has a couple brothers. One of them lived in the valley. He always dressed like, you know, like cowboy. He always had a hat, he always had a plaid shirt, and he had the mustache. And my sister saw him, and right away she was like, that's him. We had never seen these people before. Like I said, we didn't really know them. Like, they told us that we knew when we were like 2-3 years old, but we don't remember what they look like, obviously. And so yeah, right away she pinpointed him, and my mom was like, yeah, that's your grandpa's brother, that's Pedro. Like, he's been passed away for a while, he lived in the valley, he was always dressed like that. So the fact that my sister could describe exactly what he looked like before we had said, my mom told him that, you know, he lived in the valley, he dressed like she knew none of this when she described it to us. And then, like,
So it wasn't like I was like imagining or thinking or trying to make up a story. Like all of this, I told him everything I knew, and I basically described him.
Yeah, and it was him. And then so my mom told my grandma what had happened, and my grandma was like, no, it's like when that happens, it's a spirit that you need.
She just told me like I needed to pray for him because he was like coming to me like for help.
Yeah, but he had been passed away for a while, so I was like, why is he coming for help now? But I don't know. So obviously, like my grandpa thinks like God, he's still okay. He's alive.
And that was like a couple of weeks ago.
But coincidentally, if it's a coincidence or not, a couple of days after that, if not a week or so, we thought we had found out that my grandpa had cancer. My grandpa thought he had cancer. My grandma, all my family thought that my grandpa had cancer because that's what the doctors had told us. I know. So yeah, we all thought my grandpa had cancer, and I was like, even though like my grandpa didn't pass away, maybe his brother was here to help him through this difficult time. But yeah, like my sister saw this man. She saw my grandpa's brother plain as day. And it was in the daytime, like.
And there was no confusion. There was no, oh, I just saw a blur. It was enough to like where I was just, I didn't, even when I was telling my mom, I was still on the fence of whether or not like what I thought it was, because like, I mean, it was clear what I saw, but like it was like so real. I didn't think like, oh, it's a spirit. Like I literally thought it was a family member, and I don't know, I thought it was going crazy.
Yeah.
But once I saw the picture, I was like, that's what it looks like. So
yeah, and it was like this is, I don't know, have you ever seen anything before?
I had never seen anything. I had seen shadows. I had never seen
like a person.
Like,
yeah.
You know, and that was the one thing I was always scared, like, because I, you know, since I went through like a lot of things, that was like the one thing I was like, I hope I never see anything. But in the way that I saw this thing, like my grandpa's brother, whatever, it wasn't scary. I wasn't freaked out. It wasn't, I mean, I think that's like the good thing, that it wasn't like an evil spirit, because I didn't get scared or anything like that when I saw it.
Yeah, so that's just the most recent, because like that happened like two maybe 3 weeks ago at the most, and that's the most recent one that happened. And that was just like the first time that either of us had actually seen like a ghost, a spirit, a presence, like whatever you want to call it. And that was just kind of like the big thing, especially like the fact that my mom kind of sometimes believes us, but not really, but she believed us, and like we were kind of scared.
It was a very like tense situation when all of us were in there, because we were in her room, and that's when my mom showed us the picture, and it's just like a very like,
and my mom said that she got goosebumps when she heard my sister tell her this. Like it was just, it felt very real, like that this was not like just a misunderstanding. That's just a couple of more stories.
We have more.
There's more. Just let us know if you want to hear them. I'll try and maybe like make this a series and maybe upload this kind of video. Like I think the last one I uploaded was last Monday, so like every week or every couple of weeks if y'all want to do it. But yeah, also let me know any other kinds of videos that you want to do. I know, just give me any ideas that you want. I might attempt another makeup video, but I probably might do it like a talking one.
If you want to see a real makeup video, go to mine.
Go subscribe to my. No, she does really good makeup videos. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.